Welcome to the deep dive. We're all about cutting through the noise, getting you those aha moments fast. You want the real story behind the headlines, right?
Exactly. And today, we're diving into quite a heated moment from the Brazilian Senate.
Heated is one word for it. We're looking at a clash involving the Minister of the Environment, Marina Silva.
That's right. We've got source material, a commentary piece, actually, that gives a pretty, let's say, strong take on it. It includes transcripts, social media stuff.
A very opinionated take, it sounds like. So our mission today, unpack this political flashpoint, understand the different sides, what it tells us about political talk, bias, accusations, all that.
Okay, so where does it kick off?
Picture this. Minister Marina Silva, Senate committee hearing. Our commentator starts off very sarcastically.
Right, calls her grandma baby and says she went full pistola.
Full pistol. Yeah, that immediately tells you the commentator's angle, doesn't it? Suggests she got really worked up.
Definitely sets a tone. So what sparked it, the main conflict?
It centered on something Senator Marcos Rogério said to her. Poñase no te lugar.
Ah, okay. Literally put yourself in your place. But that phrase, it can mean different things in Portuguese, depending.
Exactly. Context, tone, it matter. How did Minister Silva take it?
Oh, she took immediate offense. The transcript has her saying really forcefully, eu não sou, like I am not.
Not what? Not someone who knows her place. Or not submissive.
Precisely. She clearly felt it was, maybe sexist, implying she was out of line, didn't know her role as maybe a woman in that setting.
Okay, so a strong reaction. How did the Senator, Marcos Rogério, respond to that?
Well, he tried to respond. He said something like, mas eu não vou me vitimizar, não.
I'm not going to play the victim.
Yeah. Sort of deflecting, maybe anticipating being accused of disrespect. Hard to say for sure.
Sounds like things got tense, fast.
You bet. The commission president, the commentator, says it was Rodrigo Agostinho. He tried to mediate.
Tried being the operative word.
Seems like it, because the back and forth just continued. Senator Rogério kept telling her to respect me and repeated, se ponha no teu lugar. Again.
Okay, let's pause on that phrase again. Póngase no teu lugar. Our commentator digs into the meaning, right?
Yes, highlights the ambiguity. Was it know your place as a minister? Like act professionally in this hearing? Or was it the more loaded meaning, know your place as a woman? The commentator raises the question, seems to lean towards the professional interpretation, but leaves it open.
And wasn't there someone else who jumped in? Another senator?
Correct. Senator Lisiane Gama. She was clearly outraged.
What did she say?
Something like, ¿Qué hizo, presidente?
Oh.
Que desrespeto con la ministra.
What is this, Mr. President? What disrespect to the minister? So another viewpoint seeing clear disrespect.
Definitely. Now, the commission president's intervention, that got complicated too.
How so?
He apparently said he sees a minister, not just a woman, trying to focus on the role, perhaps.
Okay, seems reasonable on the surface.
But then he added something controversial, implying respect might be conditional on her performance. The phrase reported was, a ministra no merece respeto. The minister doesn't deserve respect if the work isn't good.
Whoa. So respect isn't inherent. It's earned based on her job performance in that moment. That's quite a statement in that context.
It really adds another layer, doesn't it? Divides respect for the person from respect for the role or the work.
No wonder things kept escalating. Then came a really serious accusation from Minister Silva.
Yes. At some point, she accused Senator Marcos Rogério of having previously said he wanted to enforcá-la.
To hang her.
That's the word used. To hang her. Obviously, hugely serious claim. It definitely changes the dynamic, adds context to her level of distress.
Absolutely. What happened right after that?
Well, shortly after that, Minister Silva announced she was leaving the hearing.
And her reason?
She said it was because the senator refused to apologize for the put yourself in your place comments and, presumably, this alleged threat.
And she had some parting words.
Yeah. Reportedly said something about the senator being afraid and then, "Seduno Senor," which is a bit tricky to translate perfectly.
Kind of like he shot himself in the foot.
Yeah.
Or revealed his true colors.
Something along those lines, yeah. Like his actions backfired on him or showed something negative about him.
Okay. And the commentator we're using as our source, how did he frame her exit?
Oh, completely dismissive. Painted it as, typical leftist behavior. Cause a scene, then walk out. Avoid the actual discussion.
Right. So that's the hearing itself, a real powder keg. But the fallout continued outside the room.
It did. Minister Silva gave an interview afterwards.
What were her main points there?
She reiterated feeling disrespected, obviously, mentioned the put yourself in your place line again, in the alleged threat.
Did she touch on that distinction the president made between the woman and the minister?
Yes, she emphasized that she felt they were trying to separate respecting her as a woman from respecting her in her official capacity as minister, the role she was there to represent.
And how did she conclude?
With a statement that her place is, quote, where all women should be, framing it as a wider issue of women's rights and respect.
Okay, and I'm guessing her commentator had a sarcastic retort to that.
You guessed right. Very sarcastic. Responded with something like, in the laundry room. Really dismissive, criticizing what he saw as self-promotion, maybe implying it's always the same few women in power.
Okay, so then we have the reaction from more mainstream media like Globo News.
Yep. Andrea Sadi and Flavia Oliveira on Globo News weighed in.
And their take, less sarcastic, I imagine.
Much less. They explicitly called it sexism, misogyny, and machismo. Pretty direct language.
Strong words. Did they call for any action?
They did. They wanted a strong response, a condemnation from President Lula's government and from the Senate president. They saw it as undeniable gender-based disrespect.
So a very different interpretation. How did our original commentator respond to that assessment?
Predictably, with mockery. He basically scoffed at their focus on sexism and misogyny, asked rhetorically if any criticism of her work automatically equals sexism.
Did he concede anything?
He did say, almost grudgingly, that yes, she should be treated with respect. But then he added his own observation that she seemed merquina during the exchange.
Merquina, meaning?
Like deflated, wilted, lacking energy, kind of undercutting the idea of her being this forceful figure, perhaps.
Interesting. And Flavia Oliveira on Globo News, did she have other observations?
She pointed out that only Senator Elysiane Gama actually defended Minister Silva during the hearing.
The one who shouted about the disrespect.
Exactly. Oliveira accused the other senators and the commission president of trying to silence the minister.
Right. But our commentator had a comeback for that silencing idea.
He did, sarcastically again, pointing out that based on the descriptions, Minister Silva was shouting quite a bit herself. His implication was, how can you claim someone's being silenced when they're loudly part of the argument?
Okay, so it feels like the commentator uses this specific incident to launch into a broader critique.
Absolutely. He takes this event and sort of extrapolates. Argues that the behavior of women like Marina Silva and women in the media is causing a backlash, men resenting women generally.
That's a very broad and quite provocative claim.
Yeah.
What evidence or examples does he offer?
Well, they seem pretty anecdotal, maybe exaggerated. He gives an example of, like, men supposedly avoiding the ab workout area in a gym if a woman is there.
Why?
Because, according to him, there's this fear of being criticized, accused of looking the wrong way, or just general negative interaction. He paints a picture of men feeling they have to constantly walk on eggshells.
And his final word on the whole Senate affair.
He calls it a great circus, or even a manicomio.
Yeah, right, violent?
Yeah, basically saying the whole political system is crazy, run by crazy people. It's a deeply cynical conclusion. And then, of course, the standard call for engagement, comments, likes, follows.
Okay. So we've walked through the event, the immediate aftermath, the different media takes, the commentators' broader points. It's a lot.
It really is. And what stands out is just how differently the exact same event can be framed and interpreted.
Totally. Was it sexism? Was it political gamesmanship? A personality clash? Maybe all of the above tangled together? It really makes you think.
It does. It forces you, the listener, to consider, well, how do we know someone's intent? Especially in a heated political debate. Tone matters. Context matters.
And our own biases matter, too, in how we receive it.
Absolutely. This whole deep dive really shows the charged nature of political talk and how competing narratives get built around the same core facts.
Hopefully, exploring these different angles gives you a richer picture, a more nuanced understanding than just a single headline.
And maybe encourages you to keep questioning, keep looking critically at the information you get, especially on these complex emotional issues. There's usually more going on beneath the surface.